There are certain cinematic moments from your childhood which always stay with you. When Marty McFly embarrassed Biff Tannen on his skateboard, when the Goonies headed out on their bikes to find pirate treasure, or how about when Indiana Jones was chased by that massive rolling ball? Or even when Luke Skywalker threw away his lightsaber and told the Emperor to his face, "I am a Jedi, like my father before me," in the final, yes, final Star Wars movie. Disney doesn't count. These are moments which were defining for many of us growing up in the 80s and are still defining moments for kids discovering these great films today. But when I was a little kid, there was one film which ruled supreme over all. It had defining moments like Bill Murray getting slimed, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and of course Ted and Annette from Accounting. I am talking, of course, about 1984's Ghostbusters. It's arguably a perfect film, balancing comedy, farce and horror brilliantly in a way that hadn't really been done before. 5 years later we got the much weaker, though still enjoyable and underrated Ghostbusters 2. And now in 2020 we are getting a direct sequel to the original two movies, directed by Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman who helmed the earlier installments. It's difficult to know how I feel about this after the debacle which was 2016's Ghostbusters, and for the record, the problem with that film was not that it had an all-female cast, it was that it was trying to shoehorn the Ghostbusters franchise into the modern comedy aesthetic, bridesmaids plus some things you remember from Ghostbusters. It just wasn't what people were hoping for. After that film failed, we're now looking forward to 2020's Ghostbusters 3. They've just released a teaser trailer, including glimpses of the original Ecto-1 and incorporating music and sound design from the original film. This is Sony's way of saying, forget Ghostbusters 2016, it never happened. This is the real deal. But will it be the real deal? I'm not so sure. I hope that it is. But so far we have very few details about it other than it is a sequel and not a remake or hard reboot. In a press release, Jason Reitman mentioned new characters, so it seems like they're going down the Jurassic World road, basically a soft reboot which doesn't wipe out the past and continues the story, albeit with mostly new characters. This has been done before with the Ghostbusters. The Real Ghostbusters, which is a brilliant cartoon series from the 80s, continued the adventures of the Ghostbusters from the films. There is a weird meta moment where they go to a cinema and watch the opening of the 1984 film, but let's not split hairs, it is a continuation. That cartoon was then followed up by the Extreme Ghostbusters. Everything had to be extreme in the 90s, I never got that. But anyway, that cartoon continued the story, introducing new characters with some of the older ones featuring occasionally or taking a back seat. Is this what we're getting then? Will Ghostbusters 3 be a take on Extreme Ghostbusters or something similar? Or will they write the original Ghostbusters out entirely? That teaser trailer suggests that the Ecto-1 is in an old barn somewhere, which makes me think they're doing something along the lines of, hey, this is Uncle Ray's house. He has a lot of cool stuff in his barn from when he was younger. Shame he and all his friends disappeared mysteriously, saving the world. What's this? An old proton pack? An Ecto-1? Maybe me and my friends should start some ghost busting. I hope it's not this, it's just for illustrative purposes, but it certainly looks like it could be something along those lines. Alternatively, maybe the whole barn thing was just thrown together as a cool, mysterious reveal of the new movie and doesn't have anything to do with the plot. If you went back and asked 7-year-old Mike if he wanted to see Ghostbusters 3, he'd have been all over that. But I've been burned too many times. Too many cynical remakes and reboots, too many rehashes of old films, trotting out things from my youth and saying, do you remember this? You like this? Come buy a ticket. I would love the new Ghostbusters to be great, but the yearly destruction of beloved childhood characters to sell cinema tickets has left me extremely wary. I sincerely hope I'm wrong and the film is great, perfectly capturing the feel of the original film but pushing the story forward and not simply retreading old material for a new audience. If it's going to be the latter, I'd rather Sony put their money into new films and new characters and stories. I'll always have the first two movies and the real Ghostbusters to cherish, and that's enough for me. So will Ghostbusters 3 be good? I hope so, but experience tells me it'll probably be a letdown. And yet, I'm part of the problem, because as soon as they trot out that Ray Parker Jr. music and Ghostbusters logo like an addict looking for their next hit, the money will fly out of my wallet and into theirs, perpetuating this horrid Hollywood cycle. So, if I have to go and see it, just please, Ghostbusters 3, please don't destroy the previous films with lore changes or new revelations which impact the viewing of the first film. Just tell a solid, entertaining story, capturing the feel of the original without remaking it, and at least then, I won't have to hate myself for going to see it. So what do you think? Are you excited for Ghostbusters 3? Do you think it'll be good? Do you think it'll be rubbish? Do you not care? Did I just waste 6 minutes of your life? Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you love horror, subscribe to our channel for more original Ghastly Tales films, audio stories and discussions. Stay creepy, everyone.